Maya Angelou's story of finding her voice. Close your eyes. Let the noise of the world fall away. Tonight, we walk softly through the story of a young girl who lost her voice and then found it again in the most extraordinary way. Her name was Maya Angelou, and the map she left us is made of silence, strength, and song. Take a breath, and let us begin. Chapter 1. The Train to Stamps. A train moves slowly through the southern night. On board, two small children sit quietly. Marguerite and her brother, Bailey. They are only 3 and 4 years old. Their parents have separated, and they are being sent alone to live in a town called Stamps, Arkansas. The train rocks gently. The moonlight slides across their faces. Stamps is quiet, dusty, and deeply segregated. But there's a small general store owned by their grandmother, Mama Henderson. Here, Maya begins to notice the world. How some are served first, others must wait. How fear moves like fog through doorways. But inside the store, amid jars of molasses and bolts of fabric, she begins to feel a kind of rhythm. The rhythm of watching, of learning, of listening. Chapter 2. The Girl Who Read Everything. Maya doesn't speak much, but inside she is overflowing with words. Books become her companions. She reads Shakespeare, Poe, Dickens. She reads everything she can find. She reads to escape, but also to understand, to build a world that feels safe. Her bond with Bailey is deep. He is her mirror, her protector, her joy. And so, even in silence, Maya is becoming someone fierce. She is not loud. She is listening. Chapter 3. A Shattering Silence. One year, she is sent to live with her mother in St. Louis. Her mother's boyfriend hurts her. The pain is unspeakable. When she tells someone, he is taken to court. He is released. And then, he is killed. Maya believes her voice caused his death, and so she stops speaking. Not for a week, not for a month, but for nearly 5 years. The silence becomes her shell, but inside, her soul is still alive, still turning pages, still listening. Chapter 4. The Mute with a Storm. Inside, back in Stamps, she is seen as broken, but Maya is gathering power. She memorizes poetry. She watches people. She begins to write silently. Her world becomes observation, rhythm, emotion. She is not broken. She is waiting. She is becoming. Chapter 5. Mrs. Flowers and the Cookie That Changed Everything. Then comes Mrs. Bertha Flowers, elegant, gloved, full of light. She invites Maya into her home, offers her cookies, recites poetry aloud, and she says, "Words mean more when they are spoken." That line unlocks a door. Maya begins to whisper, then speak, then read out loud. Mrs. Flowers doesn't heal her. She reminds her she was never broken. Chapter 6. The First Step Back into Light. At school, Maya speaks softly. She begins to feel the rhythm in her voice, the power in her story. She begins to rise, no longer hidden in silence, but carried by it. Her voice is low, but steady, and one day it will reach the world. Let's summarize: you are not what has happened to you. You are what you are becoming. Let Maya's silence remind you. Even in quiet, your spirit is growing. Even in stillness, your voice is forming. Say with me, I carry my truth with grace. My voice is powerful even when soft. I rise from silence with strength. Rest now. Let Maya's map guide you inward, towards the quiet power that lives in you. Night 2. Becoming Maya. From dancer to revolutionary writer. Welcome back. Close your eyes. Breathe in gently and let it out. Tonight, we continue our journey through the life of Dr. Maya Angelou. Last time, we followed a silent girl who found her voice. Let's follow a young woman becoming a dancer, a dreamer, a mother, a revolutionary. This is the second path on the secret map Maya left us. Let your body relax, let your thoughts soften, and let the story unfold. Chapter 1. The San Francisco Years. Maya Angelou moves to San Francisco during World War II. She is tall, graceful, and curious about the world. At just 15, she becomes the city's first black female streetcar conductor. She wears her pressed uniform with pride and watches the city roll past like a moving canvas. But behind her strength, she is still searching, still building. She sings, she dances, she studies drama. Her voice gets stronger, not just in words, but in motion. And then at 16, she discovers she is pregnant. She keeps the secret gently, until her son, Guy, is born. And in that moment, Maya becomes more than just herself. She becomes a protector, a provider, a poet in the making. Chapter 8. Calypso and the Stages of the World. To support her son, Maya Angelou becomes a performer. She sings calypso in nightclubs, and her voice sways like the ocean. She joins a touring production of Porgy and Bess and travels through Europe and Africa, Paris, Rome, Cairo. Each city becomes a verse in her unfolding poem. She learns languages. She dances on ancient stages. And each night, she writes letters to Guy, reminding herself why she must keep going. Maya becomes more than a mother. She becomes a witness to the world. Chapter 9. Ghana and the Fire of Identity. In the 1960s, Maya Angelou and her son moved to Ghana. Guy attends university, and Maya works at a newspaper. Ghana is full of rhythm and revolution. The streets are alive with drums and change. Maya connects with other thinkers, artists, exiles. She finds pride in African roots. She teaches. She edits. She learns. Here, she sees blackness not as burden, but as birthright. She begins to believe that her story matters, that all stories matter, and that writing them could change the world. Chapter 10. America Calls Again. When Maya Angelou returns to the U.S., she is different. She is fierce. She is ready. She joins the civil rights movement. She works alongside Malcolm X. She raises her voice in meetings and marches. And then, in her quiet moments, she begins to write her own story. A publisher asks her to write about her life. Maya hesitates. Her story is painful, heavy, but then she remembers the child who had once gone silent, and she writes for her. She begins to craft her famous book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. One page at a time. Each word a release. Each chapter a rising. Chapter 11. The Birth of the Caged Bird. When the book is published, it sends tremors through the world. a black woman telling her story without apology. Maya Angelou is praised. She is criticized. She is seen. But most importantly, young girls read her words and begin to believe in their own. Maya realizes the power of her pen. She had danced. She had spoken. But now she would write and never stop. Chapter 12. Rest by the Fire. Now let the story rest for tonight. Let Maya's journey stir your own. You do not need to know your final shape. You only need to become. Let go of the past. Step into growth. Speak, dance, write, or simply rest. As Maya Angelou said, we delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. You are still becoming, and that is beautiful. Affirmations. I embrace my growth, even when it is uncertain. I carry power in every step I take. I am allowed to evolve. Good night. Tomorrow we rise again. Night 3. The world listened. Maya Angelou's Rise to Legend. Welcome back. Breathe in and let go. Tonight, we arrive at the final path of Maya Angelou's journey. She has risen from silence. She has crossed continents, become mother, dancer, writer, activist, and now she becomes a legend. Let this final chapter hold you gently. Let the rhythm of her words cradle you into peace. This is Maya's legacy. This is the world, finally listening. Chapter 13. The Rise of Her Voice. By now, Maya Angelou is more than a name. She is a symbol. Her memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, has awakened a generation. She writes more books. She shares more truth. And each time she speaks, the world leans in. She writes with grace and speaks with fire. She reminds people that dignity can rise from pain, that poetry is power. Her voice becomes music, not just for page, but for television, theater, film, and hearts. Chapter 14. The Inaugural Poem. January 20th, 1993. A cold morning in Washington, D.C. Bill Clinton is being sworn in as president, and Maya Angelou steps to the podium. She is 64. She stands tall in her coat and gloves, and she begins. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out. Millions hear her. She is the first black woman to ever speak at a presidential inauguration. And yet, she speaks as though to one soul at a time. She speaks of hope, of history, of healing. And in that moment, Maya Angelou is not just a poet. She is the conscience of a country. Chapter 15. The Teacher of a Generation. In her later years, Maya becomes a teacher, a mentor, a steady flame. She joins Wake Forest University. Her classes are less about grades and more about life. She tells her students, when you learn, teach. When you get, give. She writes essays, cookbooks, and gives speeches that feel like lullabies made of steel. She becomes a guide for Oprah, a North Star for artists, activists, and dreamers. She reminds the world, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Chapter 16. Final Years, Endless Light. Even as her body slows, Maya remains present. She greets each day with gratitude. She writes, she prays. She listens to rain on her porch as if it were a poem. In 2011, she receives the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Obama bows slightly as he places it on her shoulders. A circle completes itself, from a girl who once fell silent to a woman who gave voice to millions. Maya passes away peacefully on May 28, 2014, but her voice never leaves. It rises in classrooms, in books, in hearts. Still, she rises. Chapter 16. Final Years, Endless Light. Even as her body slows, Maya remains present. She greets each day with gratitude. She writes. She prays. She listens to rain on her porch as if it were a poem. In 2011, she receives the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Obama bows slightly as he places it on her shoulders. A circle completes itself, from a girl who once fell silent to a woman who gave voice to millions. Maya passes away peacefully on May 28, 2014, but her voice never leaves. It rises in classrooms, in books, in hearts. Still, she rises. Chapter 17. The Light. She left behind. Maya Angelou's life is a map made of stories, sorrow, strength. She showed us that pain can be transformed, that silence can birth truth, that the voice within us is sacred. Her lessons are not rules, they are rhythms. Rise again. Speak truth wrapped in grace. Love loudly. Walk gently. And when all else fails, read a poem. She reminds us, nothing can dim the light which shines from within. That light is in you. Closing reflection and affirmations. Now, let her story settle in your soul. Let her courage become your comfort. As you drift toward sleep, remember these truths. You are becoming. You are worthy. You have a voice. Repeat gently, my story matters. My voice is rising. I am the light that will not dim. Let go now. Rest fully. You are wrapped in the words of a woman who rose through everything and left the map for you to follow. Good night. And still, you rise.